Hey, man, you ever stare into a mirror late at night, when the house is dead quiet, and swear you see something move in the reflection? Not your own face, but like a shadow that shouldn't be there. And then, just as you're about to turn away, you hear it, a faint whisper, calling your name from the glass itself. Yeah, that chill running down your spine right now. That's just the start. Before listening to the story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because there are many more scary stories coming. Alright, pull up a chair, grab a beer or whatever. This isn't some made-up crap from a horror flick. This happened to me, Jack Thompson, right here in Cleveland, Ohio. Back in the fall of 2023, when the leaves were turning that rusty red, and the wind off Lake Erie started biting like it does. I was 32, single, working as a mechanic at this auto shop downtown, nothing fancy, just fixing transmissions and oil changes for folks who drive beat-up Fords. Life was steady, you know. Boring, even. Until I moved into that old Victorian house on Elm Street in the Ohio City neighborhood. I got the place cheap, because it had been empty for years. The realtor, this perky lady named Sarah with a clipboard and a fake smile, said the previous owner was some recluse who died alone in there. Natural causes, she insisted, but I could tell she was holding back. The house smelled like mothballs and dust, with creaky floors and wallpaper peeling in the corners like old skin. But hey, rent was half what I was paying for my crappy apartment, so I signed the lease without a second thought. The mirror was already there when I moved in. It hung in the upstairs bathroom, this big oval thing with a gilded frame that looked like it belonged in a museum. Antique, probably from the 1800s, all ornate carvings of vines and leaves twisting around the edges. The glass was foggy in spots, like it had aged with the house. I didn't think much of it at first. Just wiped it down with some Windex and called it good. My first night there, I was unpacking boxes until late. Around midnight, I headed up to brush my teeth. The bathroom light was one of those old pull chain bulbs, dim and yellow, casting long shadows across the tile. I flicked it on, and there I was in the mirror, tired eyes, stubble, the usual. But as I leaned in to spit out the toothpaste, I caught this flicker. Like a shadow darting behind me in the reflection. I spun around quick, nothing. Just the empty hallway, door half open to my bedroom. Shook it off as exhaustion. New house jitters, right? The next few days were normal. Work, come home, microwave some dinner, watch the Browns lose on TV. But that mirror started bugging me in small ways. I'd glance at it while showering, and my reflection seemed off. Like the eyes were watching me a split second too long after I looked away. Or the steam from the hot water would clear unevenly, leaving patches that looked like shapes, faces, maybe. Nah, I told myself. It's just an old mirror. Warped glass or something. Then came the silence. That house was too quiet. No traffic noise like my old place, no neighbors blasting music. Just the occasional groan of settling wood or the hum of the fridge downstairs. One evening, after a long shift, I was in there washing my face. The water ran cold from the tap, splashing echoes in the sink. I looked up, water dripping from my chin, and that's when I heard it. A whisper. Soft, like breath on glass. Jack. I froze. My heart slammed in my chest, that ice-cold rush you get when something's wrong. I stared at my reflection, lips not moving, but the sound had come from right there, from the mirror. I wiped the glass clear, leaned in close. Nothing. Just me, looking like an idiot. I laughed it off, nervous like. You're hearing things, buddy. Get some sleep. But sleep didn't come easy that night. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying it. Was it the wind? Pipes groaning? Or maybe the neighbor's TV through the walls. Except there were no neighbors close enough. The house next door was vacant too. By morning, I'd convinced myself it was nothing. Pushed it down, went to work. A week later, things got weirder. I started noticing shadows in the house. Not big, dramatic ones like in movies, just subtle. I'd walk down the hall, and out of the corner of my eye, a dark shape would slip around a corner. Turn to look. Gone? And always, it led back to that bathroom. I'd avoid the mirror during the day, using the downstairs half bath instead. But nights. Man, nights were when the quiet pressed in. One Friday, after grabbing beers with the guys from the shop, guys like Mike and Tony, who ribbed me about my haunted new pad, I came home buzzed. Stumbled upstairs around 1 a.m., flipped on the light. The bulb hummed, flickering a bit. I looked in the mirror, and there it was again. That whisper. Jack. Jack Thompson. Clear as day this time. Not my imagination. My full name, hissed like someone was right behind the glass. I backed up, hit the door frame. Heart pounding so hard I thought it'd burst. I yelled, "Who's there?" Stupid, I know, but panic does that. No answer. Just the silence, thicker now, like it was listening back. I didn't sleep. Sat up in bed with the lights on, phone in hand, googling crap like whispers in old houses and auditory hallucinations. WEBMD said stress, maybe. Or carbon monoxide, checked the detector, it was fine. By dawn, I was exhausted but determined. Tore the mirror off the wall that morning. It was heavy, frame digging into my hands. Carried it down to the basement, shoved it in a corner under some old sheets the previous owner left. Problem solved, right? Wrong? That night, the whispers didn't stop. They were fainter, coming from downstairs now. I'd hear them in the kitchen while making coffee, or in the living room watching TV. Jack. Like an echo bouncing through the vents. I started leaving lights on everywhere, but the shadows grew bolder. They'd stretch across walls in ways that didn't match the lamps. And the silence between whispers. It felt alive, heavy, like the house was holding its breath. I confided in Mike at work. We were under a chivvy, oil dripping, and I muttered, "Dude, this house is messing with my head." He laughed, called me paranoid. Probably rats in the walls, man. Or you're just lonely, get a girl over. But his eyes said he didn't buy it. I didn't either. It felt too personal. Like whatever it was knew me. Days blurred. I stopped sleeping much, bags under my eyes like bruises. The mystery deepened. Why me? Why this house? I dug into the history. Hit up the local library on my lunch break, this old brick building downtown with dusty archives. Found out the previous owner was a guy named Elias Grant, died at 78. Lived alone after his wife passed in the 90s. No kids. The obit was short, found in his home, heart failure. But a clipping from the Cleveland Plain Dealer mentioned neighbors hearing him talk to himself a lot toward the end. Yelling at mirrors, they said. Mirrors. Plural. The article didn't specify, but it chilled me. I started avoiding reflections altogether, covered the TV when it was off, even draped a towel over the microwave door. But the whispers followed. In the car on the way to work, Jack. Faint, like from the rear view. At the shop, glancing in a side mirror on a customer's ride. It was everywhere now. The fear built slow, like fog rolling in off the lake. Not jump scares, but that gnawing dread that makes your skin crawl. I'd sit in the dark, couldn't afford the electric bill with all the lights on, and listened to the silence. It wasn't empty, it pulsed with anticipation. Shadows in the corners seemed to shift when I wasn't looking directly. And strange behaviors crept in. I'd find myself standing in front of where the mirror used to be, just staring at the blank wall, whispering back without realizing. "What do you want?" One night, storm raging outside, thunder cracking over Cleveland, rain lashing the windows, I couldn't take it. Grabbed a flashlight, went to the basement. The air down there was damp, musty, like wet earth. Pulled the sheet off the mirror. There it was, glass dusty but intact. I shone the light on it, and my reflection stared back, haggard, wild-eyed. "Say it," I muttered. "Say my name." Silence at first. Then, soft as a sigh, "Jack. Come closer." I dropped the flashlight. It clattered, beam spinning shadows like a strobe. My hair stood on end, that electric prickle from scalp to toes. I bolted upstairs, slammed the door, wedged a chair under the knob. Spent the night on the couch, TV blaring infomercials to drown out the quiet. Next day, I called a shrink. Dr. Elena Ramirez, office in Shaker Heights. Nice lady, mid-50s, with glasses and a calm voice. "Auditory hallucinations," she said after I spilled it all. "Stress-induced, perhaps. New home, isolation, it's common." Prescribed some pills, told me to journal my thoughts. I nodded, but deep down, I knew it wasn't in my head. It was too real, too targeted. The pills helped a bit. Dulled the edges. Whispers faded to murmurs, shadows seemed less alive. I even hung the mirror back up, felt stupid leaving it in the basement like a kid afraid of the boogeyman. Life crept toward normal. Work, beers with Mike, even a date with a girl from the coffee shop, Lisa. She came over one night, we watched Netflix, things heated up. But as we headed upstairs, she paused in the bathroom. "Weird mirror," she said, tilting her head. "Looks like it's watching us." I laughed it off, but inside, my stomach twisted. After she left the next morning, I heard it again. Louder. "Jack. She's not for you." Jealousy. From a mirror. Insane. But the fear ratcheted up. Psychological, yeah, messing with my mind, making me doubt everything. Was Lisa real? Were the whispers? The silence between them grew oppressive, like a weight on my chest. I'd wake up sweating, heart racing, from dreams where I was trapped behind the glass, pounding to get out, while my reflection lived my life. I started researching mirrors. Online forums, Reddit threads about haunted antiques. Most were BS, ghost stories, supernatural junk. But one post caught my eye, from a guy in Toledo. Said he bought an old mirror, at an estate sale, started hearing his name. Turned out it was a witch's mirror, or something, but I skipped the woo-woo parts. Focused on the real, maybe acoustic tricks, like hidden speakers. I tore apart the frame that weekend. Nothing. Just wood and glass. The unknown gnawed at me. Words I'd never heard before popped into my head during the whispers, names like Elias, the old owner. Was he trying to tell me something? Or was it my brain filling in gaps? Shadows danced more now, even in daylight. Strange behavior set in. I'd talk to the mirror, arguing with it. "Leave me alone." And it'd whisper back, mocking. Winter hit hard that year. Snow blanketed Cleveland, muffling the world. The house felt more isolated, like a tomb. Christmas came and went, alone, family back in Akron too far for the drive in the storm. New Year's Eve, I was nursing a whiskey, staring at the mirror from the doorway. The light bulb flickered, casting eerie glows. "Jack. Listen." I stepped closer, breath fogging the glass. What? Behind you? I whirled. Nothing. But the fear spiked, hair standing, shivers racking my body. That psychological terror, the unknown twisting like a knife. I smashed the glass with my fist. Shards everywhere, blood mixing with the cuts. Pain grounded me. Silence finally. Or so I thought. The whispers stopped, but the shadows. They multiplied. In every reflective surface, windows, spoons, even puddles outside. Jack. Faint, persistent. I boarded up windows, lived in dim light. Dr. Ramirez upped my meds, said schizophrenia maybe. But it felt real. Spring thawed the snow, but not my dread. I decided to sell the house, move out. Packed boxes, called Sarah the realtor. Last night there, I uncovered a loose floorboard in the bathroom. Under it, a journal. Elias Grant's. Pages yellowed, handwriting shaky. He wrote about the mirror. Bought it in '85 from a flea market in Pittsburgh. Started hearing his name. Thought it was his dead wife at first. Then doubts, his mind. But entries grew frantic. It's not a reflection. It's me. The real me is in there. This one's the fake. Chills. Hair on end. I read on, it speaks my name to pull me in. Swap places. I've resisted, but it's getting stronger. Last entry, tonight, I break it. End this. He died that night. Heart failure. Or? I looked up, at the blank wall where the mirror was. But wait, I'd smashed it months ago. Why was the wall blank? Panic surged. I ran to the basement, mirror intact, under the sheet. What? Dream? Hallucination. The journal trembled in my hands. Whispers everywhere now, Jack. It's time. I grabbed a hammer, swung at the glass. It shattered, but my reflection didn't. It smiled, stepped out as I fell back. No, wait. That's not right. I'm telling you this story, right? From my house in Cleveland. But? Is this me? Or the one from the mirror? The ending? You're in it. Look behind you. Hear that whisper. It's calling your name now.